£8 on the body equals £4 of pressure on the spine. This may come as a surprise for many, certainly to me, but it's true. Now, somebody who weighs £200 is putting £800 of pressure on the spine. Think of it like this. Extra weight equals extra stress on the spine and joints. Excess belly fat eventually causes the pelvis and the lower back to slant forward. This creates a permanent and round arch in the back, which causes back pain. Seems quite obvious, doesn't it, really? Yeah, I don't think to many of us it really is. Now, my name's Terry. Welcome to my running project. Now, the reason I'm here is because I want to share my journey with you. In the last 6 months, I have lost 30 pounds, and I've managed to do this whilst dealing with chronic pain, fatigue, and a spinal injury. And I've had to continue working full time, raising 3 young kids, and I've done it all through a combination of hybrid training. So that combines running and bodybuilding. I had this genius idea. Well, I say genius, time will tell, I guess. But I thought, you know what, let's start vlogging this journey all on YouTube, and try and keep myself accountable, and try and create my own community of like-minded people. You know, people who can help and support people who are undertaking their own journeys, no matter what that is. Whether you're weightlifting, whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, whether you're a footballer, a rugby player, I don't care. You know, we're all on a journey and we should all be supporting each other. I mean, running, it wasn't only great for my physical health, but it also helped me mentally. It gave me a sense of freedom and control. There's nothing that quite feels like running through the country roads, either early in the morning or late in the evening, or even after dark. Seeing the countryside, smelling the fresh air, just getting out there and getting it done, even when your body and brain say no, gave me freedom. And that, the training, everything, it was really essential in me sort of managing my chronic pain and my fatigue. You know, as I started to run and do the bodybuilding side by side, I really did notice changes in my body. I was getting stronger, I was getting leaner, I was getting a lot leaner, I was getting leaner quicker than I thought I would. And I was getting more confidence as well, because things like my running times were coming down as well. You know, it wasn't just about lifting more weights, it wasn't just about how much weight I was losing. It was things about, you know, noticing things that I was running a lot quicker. I went from struggling to do 11-12 minute mile to running sub 8 minute miles, you know, and things like that. That was huge. That was such a huge encouragement for me. And the biggest part of all for me was being able to reduce my pain medication. Now, over the years, I've been on things like tramadol, morphine tablets, liquid morphine, morphine patches, cocodamol. I've been on nerve blockers. I've been on oxycodone. I've been on dihydrocodeine. I've been on pretty much all of them. I can't remember whether I mentioned morphine patches, but I did that as well. But yeah, I've been on all sorts. And now I'm at a point where I'm just on the odd cocodamol here and there. Some days I can manage with just paracetamol and ibuprofen. But for me, the one thing I've had to do is get realistic. I know I'm not going to be pain-free, probably ever, because unfortunately I have multiple health conditions and I have multiple injuries. I mean, 10 years ago I fractured my spine in 3 places, had an MRI and found out I previously fractured it and didn't know, and then wondered why I had back issues even in the first place. But before that, I broke my foot in 5 places. I had multiple surgeries. I tore my Achilles tendon. I dislocated both hips in the crash. So yeah, there's been a lot of things. But looking back, there has been many pivotal moments in my journey, from reducing my pain medication and reaching my current weight goal. I say current because I've still got a good 30-40 pounds to lose, which I think you'll be able to see. You know, it's kind of obvious. But yeah, for me, you know, one of the biggest things was realising that I was actually capable of more than I thought. Like I say, going from struggling to doing 11-12 minute mile to running a sub 8 minute mile. At one point I even got to below sub 7, and I've run races, as you can see behind me. I've done a couple of 10Ks. I did a 5-mile race as well. I've done a number of park runs. My park run time has gone from about 31-32 minutes down to around 29 minutes. Which is nowhere near what I was doing years ago. 20 years ago, I was running 5Ks in sub 16 minutes. But as I say, never going to get back there. Not going to happen. I'm too old, too out of condition, and too many injuries. Sometimes you have to re-evaluate your perspective on things. You have to re-evaluate your goals, and you have to sort of get real and realise that what you want and what you're capable of aren't necessarily the same thing. So, like I say, just sit back and have a think and reevaluate what you want. In the end, I've lost 30 pounds so far in the last 6 months, and I'm really, really happy with that. And it was all down to the hybrid training approach with the running and the bodybuilding, and it was a massive key to my success. It not only helped me lose the weight, but it also helped me improve my health and my well-being. Like I say, I'm on far less painkillers than I've been on for many, 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 many years. And part of the reason I put on so much weight was because I was inactive due to the injuries, and I'd just kind of given up and thought, you know what, that's it, that's me, I'm in pain, I'm just going to have to deal with it. You kind of get to a point where you sort of think to yourself, this is me for life now, you know, I'm just going to have to deal with the pain. I've had a couple of procedures. I had a procedure not that long ago where I had anaesthetic injected into the nerves in my spine. Didn't work. It lasted for a couple of days, but it showed me that there was possibly some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm now waiting for another procedure, which is going to be nerve ablation, where they use radio frequency to burn the nerves, which is a bit more invasive and serious than the previous procedure, but this one should have longer lasting effects. The first procedure was more of a sort of tester, because they knew that if they injected the anaesthetic into the nerves and it worked, even if it was only for a couple of days, which it was, they knew that they'd got the right thing and there was a way to stop the pain, hopefully. But I'll get onto that again in a future video once I've had the procedure. Yeah, if you're on a journey of your own, I would love to hear about it in the comments below, guys. You know, what's worked for you? What's been the biggest challenge? Share your story. Let's support each other on this journey to a happier and healthier us. There'll be a lot more to come. As I say, I'm going to be vlogging every step of this journey. I'll be vlogging things like park runs, races, my weight training, things like what I eat in a day, my everyday life, holidays. I'll be vlogging pretty much everything, guys. So come and join me, but please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And just remember one thing, guys, it's all about getting it done. It's that simple. So, one of the first jobs that has to be done every weekend or every Saturday for a park run is whoever is run director for the event has to go and get everything out of the shed, and then they've got to get everything basically to the start line, ready to get the event set up. And then obviously the next job for the run director or whoever's helping is to get everything unloaded and get it all on the start line set up. So here we've got the table being set up, which has all of the parkrun stuff on there, and we've also got the Kingsbury Parkrun sign. The bag I'm just popping on the top of the table has got all the cones for the guys who will be going around and setting up the actual course. We've also got the marshal points as well that I'm just popping at the side of the table. So yeah, the job is basically get everything out ready, and in a minute I'll be taking it over and taking you with me as I start off the funnel. So as you can see now, the job I'm doing is the funnel. So this is where everyone will finish at the end of the 5k event. Now first lap, when they come around, they will actually go past this. I'll actually discuss this as I'm going around, because I will be doing 2 laps of the park run, but I'll be taking you with me on the first lap and talking you through it. But yeah, basically I'll be putting the posts out, as you can see, and then I'll be putting some tape around it to stop people sort of ducking out the funnel, and that kind of just stops them messing up the results and makes sure that everybody stays in the order that they come through in at the end. So that is the finished funnel all set up. So as you can see, we've got the barcode scanners, and we've also got the PB bell to ring for any guys who get their PBs at the park run today. And we've got the finished funnel. I'll take you through it. There we go, so that's the finish line.
Yeah, are you? Where's your dog? I've already walked her. Oh.
So just comes.
Yeah, it just comes. Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing you're about to see is Mike, who will be taking the first timers briefing for all of the new park runners and for everybody who is new to Kingsbury Water Park's park run. Now, all of the park runners across the UK have a core team. These are the guys who are responsible for making sure that all of the park runs can actually happen each Saturday.
Last week, this is a bit quieter, I'll guarantee you that. We went to 6,000, we'll be coming to top 150. Has everyone got their barcodes first of all? Yeah. The answer's not yet. Anyway. So it's a 2-lap course today, so we started just at the other end of the screen here, there's a sign stuff next to the tree there. Running straight across, see whether, I want to say lady, it could be a gentleman. Person in pink there, you'll be turning left, and then effectively it's 2 laps following the big lake behind you, so if you've always got that big lake on your left, you're never going to go too far wrong. There's a wooded section that might be a little bit of mud, but generally pretty good this time of year. You go around a little lake that's a little bit tight, so that's single file, and then once you get out on just around the big lake, pretty good underfoot and nice and wide, so plenty of space to overtake. As you come round the first time, if you are a little bit slower, if you can just stay to the left, and you're a little bit quicker, stay to the right, and at the end of your first lap, please don't cross the line there, because that is a bit short, by 2.5k. And then it's just cross the road and carry on round again, but there's marshals at all the road stops. Plenty of people keep you encouraged. The barcode scanning is right after the finish line. As always, please don't duck under the panel. Please don't take tokens as mementos, because they can often it's really difficult to the results. Toilets are in that block sort of behind all those trees there. There's a coffee shop as well. The coffee's questionable quality, but it will, it will help you recover at the end of the run. Any questions?
Good morning, everyone. That's better. Can you hear me in the back?
I don't know, right? Camera.
Yeah, good.
Doing the run report today.
If you can't,
by video.
stop talking. Juggling on with bits and pieces. Right. So, welcome to Kingsbury Water Park Run number 490. On the countdown to 500, which I've been told that as long as we don't have any cancellations in the meantime, I'm RD for that one, so that's going to be fun. Just the same usual announcements, health and safety, we do have a defib on site that is over by the visitor centre. Hopefully no one will ever need it, but it's there in case we do. If you have an issue on the course, please go back to or forwards to your nearest marshal, and they will call me and I will call a ranger. As you go around the course, do remember to thank all of your volunteers. We're all here because they're able to give up their time on this dismal Saturday morning, so they make this event possible, as do you. Yeah. And do consider volunteering again in the future. Children, any under 11s, stay within reach of your parents or a responsible adult, may not be the same person. And any dogs, keep them on a short handheld lead. Do not do what I'm doing and just have them on a waste lead, because my hands are full and I can't.
Yeah,
don't do as I do as I tell you. When you finish, go into the finish funnel just the once. Please don't double funnel because it messes with the times. Have we got people in the roads? Can we move to the left of the start sign, please? If we're going to be taking part today, can we move to the left of the start sign? Come on. Come on. Any time today, thank you. We are on our usual 2-lap course. Stay left on your first lap, and then you can finish on your second lap. Do remember that we don't have sole use of the park, and other people are allowed to be here, so please be courteous and kind and considerate to other people that you come across. Conditions are, I've been told, not even remotely puddly, so you've got a dry, quick course today, perfect PB conditions. Lastly but not leastly, we have got some milestones, some unofficial milestones, all on their 200th park run today. We have Sue King, George King and Garth Cox. All three on the 200th run, so well done. We do also have somebody, one of our barcode scanners, is a first time volunteers, so please be kind when you get your barcode scanned, and well done for volunteering. Are we on time? 3, 2, 1, go!
So that was the morning briefing that is held at the start of every park run on a Saturday. It's always done by the run director. This week's run director was Lil, who is also my other half as well. So this is partly why I help out sometimes in the morning, because I don't have a choice. I get voluntold. I do have to admit, though, I don't actually mind. I quite enjoy doing it, in all honesty. It gets me out of bed in the morning on a Saturday morning, and I'm always active doing something on a Saturday as well.
Marshall.
So, as you can see, we've just run past the first set of marshals. As you'll have heard me say thank you to the marshal. I need to remind everyone, please always thank your marshals. It's without these guys, the events can't take place. They get out of bed every Saturday morning. Some of these volunteer literally every Saturday to ensure that parkrun is not only successful, but can actually take place. So, as I said a little bit earlier, I am going to be taking you around with me on a lap of the parkrun. I'm going to be doing both laps, but I'm going to be taking you with me and recording for the first lap. As you'll see, that this is all sort of sped up footage, but I will be slowing it down every time we come up to a marshal point, just so you can hear me say thank you to the marshal, and so you can actually see where all the marshals are at Kingsbury Water Park's parkrun. Yeah, we have a few of them. Like I say, they are essential, and I just want everyone to know how essential it is for the parkruns to be able to take place, for them to have a full team of volunteers. I mean, every week there are parkruns up and down the country who have to cancel because they actually can't get the volunteers that they need. And some of the actual parkruns have had to just stop altogether because it's a regular occurrence that they can't actually get the staff needed. And so these guys aren't paid. They're giving up their own time on a Saturday morning to help out, because parkrun, like I said in the previous video, it's not just an event, it's a community and a family. And some of these guys actually rely on this to actually get them out. This is how some people get active. It's what starts people running. Some people go on from a park run to be able to join things like running clubs or doing couch to 5k. Some people do couch to 5k before they come to park run. You know, it actually helps a lot of people get up and get active.
Thanks, Marshall.
So this is Ken and Margaret's corner. We've just gone past. That was Ken, and we are now coming up to Margaret. And now we continue round, and I'm going to now shut up, and I'm going to leave you to it until we get to the next marshal point.
Cheers, Mick.
So that is Mick. We have just passed. He is a member of the Badgers Running Club, who I am also a member of as well, along with my other half and a few of our friends. Now, Mick is a regular volunteer. Mick is rapid. Now, that guy holds quite a few over 60s and over 70s running records in the Leicestershire Road Racing League. Like I say, yeah, he is very flight-footed and quick off of the mark.
Thanks, Marshall.
You're welcome. Looking good.
And we've just come past the next marshal point at Stinky Bridge. You probably heard the music going. I couldn't hear it at the time because I had my headphones in, and I was also too busy breathing like an asthmatic donkey, trying just to hang on and not die.
Thanks, Marshall.
And here we have just come up to the final Marshall point before we come down the home straight and across the little bridge along past the model railway to the finish line, or well, to the end of the first lap, to the beginning of the second lap this time round. Now, as you'll see just to the right, the cone's going up to the finish line. So for those who are rapid and super quick, they have probably, well, they're probably not far behind me, to be fair, finishing their first lap, because some of them came in around 17, 18 minutes. And we are just starting on the second lap now. And this is where I am going to leave you, and I will catch you when it comes to taking all the equipment down for the event.
Great finish, Ian. Well done.
So now you'll see I am just taking down the finish funnel as the event has finished, all aside from the park walkers and the tail walkers. Now the concept of the park walkers is they just walk it. It's to make sure that everybody knows that the event is accessible for everyone. You don't have to run, you can walk. It's about the community feel, that family feel. And then also the tail walkers. Now the tail walkers will be the last people who will cross the line. They'll basically finish behind absolutely everyone, and they'll go around picking up the cones that we've laid out for setting up the event to make sure that no one gets lost on the way round.
I thought it'd be nice to show people what actually goes into a park run. It's not a case of just turn up and it's done, dusted and ready for you. So people actually understand, you know, how much volunteers are needed and how, you know, how much there actually is to do each week.
I think you don't realise people rock up at sort of quarter to 8 every week.
Yeah.
And now we are packing everything away. That's it. Everything's finished. All the finishers are through. The tail walkers, the park walkers, all of the runners, everyone else in between. So now we are literally just collapsing the event down. You saw me take down the finish funnel. Now we are just collapsing everything else down as well. We are collapsing down the table that you saw us put up at the beginning. The boxes have got to go in the boot. And then once that is all done, we will then take it back to the shed. And then after that, it is back home for the run director, aka Lil, to get the results published and get them out to everyone so that everyone else gets their email and their text message to give them their finishing times. And then after that, it will be moving on to folding up all of the volunteer bibs, and then the long, arduous, draining task of sorting out all the finishing tokens, almost all 300 of them. And this is where this week's run director Lil is organising all of the results and getting them put in onto the system to make sure everyone gets their text messages and emails with their finishing times. Oh joy, now it's the finishing tokens. To be fair, I can't argue, it isn't that bad. What you'll actually see us doing is sorting them into piles of 10. So as there were nearly 300 participants this weekend, we have 300 tokens to sort through. So I'll be sorting them out into 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s. You get the idea, but we'll be sorting them into like piles of 10 so that at the end we can actually then put them all back on the string so that when it comes to next week's parkrun, they can be given out in order from 1 all the way up to 300 or however many are needed. To be fair, it's a rarity that 300 parkrunners attend Kingsbury these days. It was helped because Tamworth Parkrun was off due to a couple of events. It'll be the same next weekend, I believe, as well, as they are also off then.
And that's a wrap, folks, as the last of the tokens are put onto the string and prepped all ready for next week's event. And that was this week's run report with Terry, done with a bit of a difference. It was a video report. I will catch you guys later. Thank you for watching. So, join me as I take on the challenge of running my first park run post-injury in almost 3 months. So, you've probably actually heard of parkrun, but if you're new to the running scene, you might actually be wondering what all the fuss is about. But in a nutshell, parkrun is a free weekly 5k event that takes place in local parks and green spaces all over the world, just as long as you're not in France, because it doesn't exist there anymore. But it's open to everyone, regardless of age, fitness level, or running experience. And it's become incredibly popular with runners for, of all shapes and sizes. To be fair, I mean, one of the biggest concerns that people have when it comes to parkrun is feeling intimidated. You might actually be thinking, well, I'm not a real runner, or I ain't fast enough. But the truth is, parkrun is actually all about inclusivity, and everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter how fast you are or how slow you are. Another concern for a lot of people is the time commitment. You might actually be thinking, I don't have an extra hour on a Saturday morning to dedicate to running. But the great thing about it is that it's a quick 1 hour commitment, and it's a great way to start your weekend. I mean, it starts at 9 AM every Saturday, and you can do it, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour, or however quick you do it, whether you walk or run, it doesn't really matter. But again, a lot of people are probably going to be worried that they're not actually even fit enough to take part, or they're too slow and will hold everyone else back. But the reality of it is that parkrun is actually designed to be a supportive and encouraging environment, where everyone cheers each other on and celebrates their own personal achievements, no matter how big or small. And finally, you might actually even be thinking, I've never run before, I don't know where to start. But the beauty of it is, it's a judgment-free zone. You just show up, give it a go, see how you get on. You don't need any special equipment. Slap on a pair of joggers and a t-shirt, walk it in a pair of jeans, put on a pair of sliders. It doesn't matter as long as you make an effort to get to the end. I mean, at parkrun, you will actually find people of all ages and fitness levels, and you'll find walkers and runners and everyone in between. You'll actually be surprised at how many people show up week after week after week, not just to run, but to actually socialise, because it's a community. You make new friends and be part of something bigger than yourself. And the best part is, like I said, you don't have to be a runner to participate. You can walk, jog, run, whatever feels comfortable for you. Even if you want to run like a dog or crawl on all fours, it doesn't matter. I mean, parkrun is for everyone, regardless of your fitness level or running experience. I mean, I'm not exactly fit, nowhere near yet. Well, yeah, nowhere near fit. I might be, I'm chunky is probably the best way to describe me, if you've seen my first video. But yeah, I still go. I mean, I'm in agony, but sometimes by the time I finish with my back. I mean, if you watched my first video, a lot of you will actually know that I suffer from arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis. I suffer from fatigue, chronic health issues, and chronic pain. I mean, if I can get off my arse on a Saturday morning, there's no reason why everyone else can't. Like I say, whether you're walking or running, just go, give it a try. I guarantee by the end of it, you will be hooked. Trust me, go once. You've got to give it a try, trust me. But yeah, I'm going to leave you now. I'm just going to let you watch this video of me going around Kingsbury. I've put it on double speed, and I've muted it because you don't need to hear me sort of wheezing like an asthmatic donkey or a 90-year-old alcoholic who's rushed to the bar for last orders. Yeah. If you've actually attended parkrun before, though, share your experiences down below in the comments. Ask me any questions you might have, and if you're new to running, be sure to check out my next video. I mean, I literally just also released the run report for Kingsbury. I just did parkrun this last Saturday gone. Again, I took you around with the first lap, and I've also done, it's a run report, but it's all done by video. But yeah, just come and join the channel, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Cool.
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, I've got it on video, so I'll just take a clip out of it. Smile! Badges!
Okay, morning everybody.
Morning.
I'm Andy. Welcome to Sutton Park Park Run. Some of you will be first timers, I guess, to Park Run totally, and some will be used to Park Run, but this is the first time you've done Sutton. So I'll explain the course first, and then those of you that are familiar to Park Run are free to go, and I'll explain the barcoding system. So we start here. You're welcome to start on the grass as well as the road. Gets a bit congested on the road, so my advice is start on the grass here. The finish is here as well. There'll be a finishing funnel set up on the grass, so that's the end. It's a single lap course. We head off, nice downhill stretch first for around for around 500 metres, and then there's a what's called 3-stage hill, so it goes up, and up again. So some of you might know Sutton Park. It's quite a nice one to look forward to, and leave something in the tank for the end as well, because the end is from the ford at the bottom of the hill here up to this section here. So leave a little bit just at the end for that final hill. The core team go back to a cafe afterwards, which is on Boldmere High Street. So basically, it's just straight out of the park and just keep going to a high street. Halfway up there is the community cafe. That's where the core team go to. You're all most welcome to join them. Anybody familiar with the Park Run barcoding? You're free to go now.
Cool.
I'll just explain to the new
Thank
guys.
you.
Ready in 3, 2, 1, go! Enjoy everybody!
So, before I get out of breath and start dying, welcome to the Sutton Park Run run reports. Oh, there we go. Back onto the pavement now. That was ever so slightly slippy on the mud. Anyone who knows me knows what I'm like on the mud. I'm like Bambi on ice and a liability. Right, I'm going to pop this away for a few minutes so I don't go arse over tit, and I'll catch you guys later. And we're halfway around Sutton in 1346. Oh, it's a beautiful park, this place. Absolutely stunning scenery. Definitely worth visiting the warm, dry weather of summer, even this time of year. It's undulating up and down hill, but a great course for PBs. Two miles in 8 minutes 16. See you guys at the finish line. See what we can do in the last 1.1 miles.
Oh my life.
181. Morning. Oh.
Perfect. And then just a token. Lovely. Well
Brilliant, thank you very much. So, Park Run PB 28.43. I would have been slightly quicker, but I had to stop because the shin started to seize again, which I haven't done all week, and I also thought I was going to throw up. I've had to stop for that. That would have quite easily been a sub 27, but yeah, it cost me some serious time. But yeah, really beautiful course though. It's absolutely stunning. This place would be amazing in the summer when it's really bright sunlight and warm. Yeah, it's a gorgeous course. It's quite undulating, fair few up and down. So the last 500 metres is all uphill, which is quite cruel really, especially when you're already cream crackered. But yeah, I would definitely be back again. I want to say thank you to Rob Andrews for inviting us out here and asking me to do the run report. So yeah, like I say, today's going to be a video run report for the guys. So yeah, I shall catch you all in a bit when I've got my breath back. Well done, guys. Well done. Nice one. Well done, guys. Well done, guys, almost there. Last few metres, go on. Almost there, last 2 metres, well done. Come on, guys, sprint finish. Go on, mate, well done. Well done, guys. Well run, nice work, well done.
We've never really done it.
No. I haven't volunteered. I'm in training for a marathon now.
Oh, okay.
Next year.
Well done.
I'm not really so much going to put times in there. So I'm going to start jogging and jogging.
Well done, Sally.
But I wouldn't
Well done.
necessarily for like a credit or anything. I would just put a bib on.
Yeah.
Jog around.
Well done, mate.
Hey all, right, Terry from the future here. Right, the next clip you're about to see is a quick interview with George Brazell, who was the event director for the day. Now, George is only 16, and this kid can run parkrun in just over 18 minutes. I mean, his PB is 18:07, yet this kid, like I say, 16-year-old kid, dedicates his every Saturday and Sunday to volunteering for parkrun. I mean, the young lad is on course for 106 volunteers this year, which is absolutely insane. Which is, I mean, that's like the maximum you can get. I mean, George is giving up every Saturday for parkrun, every Sunday for junior parkrun, and then on top of that, there's the special events on Christmas Day and New Year's Day as well. So, like I say, 160 events. He's on course for 106 events this year. I mean, there's not many other 16-year-olds out there like that. I mean, as I say, the fact this kid can run, his PB is just over 18 minutes. So this kid's no slouch either. But he'd rather give back something to parkrun instead. I've got to say, this young lad is probably one of the most confident yet non-arrogant kids I've ever met at that age. And I'd say he's actually he's a credit to both his family and to parkrun. I met a few kids actually, a few youngsters should I say, at parkrun at Sutton on Saturday, and you know what? I was shocked. I've never met so many polite, well-rounded youngsters, to be fair. And these kids are all credits to the family and all credits to the community and to parkrun. So yeah, I'm going to cut to that clip now. So I will catch you guys in a bit.
Give me a few words about your journey in parkrun. Now you've done quite a few volunteers.
Yeah, I've volunteered quite a lot. I think I started parkrun about 2 years ago. Very quickly got into the volunteering, more like did a bit of scanning after I ran.
Sweet. And
then found that I enjoyed the volunteering, probably just as much, if not more, than the running. So done loads of volunteering at the 5K and the juniors, and yeah, still carrying on and loving it.
I know you're on for 106 volunteers this year as well. So
yes,
that's amazing. That is.
I'm trying to do most weekends, Saturday and Sunday where I can. So,
that's amazing. That is. Well done, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, first timers, yeah? Great, okay, wonderful. Well, a very kind of atmospheric welcome to Great Dunmows Parkrun. It's lovely to see you all. How many of you are absolute first timers? I know we've got one, you've never done parkrun before ever. We've got one, so congratulations. Looking forward to it. So the rest of you are tourists. Where have you come from? What parts of the world? Norwich. Norwich?
West Mids.
Where?
West Midlands.
Okay, yep. Right, Buxton. Right, okay, lovely. Folkestone, sorry. Oh my goodness. Folkestone. It's still a bit early, yeah. Not the accents. So, the Great Dunmow Park Run is a 2-lap route. The first lap is a little bit longer than the first one, just by a little bit, because we're just taking a bit of the woods over there. So when you're back here after the first lap, you're already more than halfway, which is good news. The only kind of noticeable hill of it is very flat, but the only hill is you'll notice as you come up here, it slowly grinds away at you, so something to be aware of because that's nearly at the finish as well. For the very first timer, the start is here and we'll go off in that direction. Then this will transform into the finish for when we all complete. That's when you'll get given a token, and then that's when you hand it into someone else, and you also get your barcode or phone or whatever it is in first place, of course. Dog's on a nice solid lead, so that's looking very solid indeed. That's wonderful.
I'll take him off. I won't leave him on the waist belt.
And are you running with Mum or?
Yeah, he's staying with stepmom.
Stay with you. Okay, that's all good indeed. I think that is most of the brief. We'll have a full briefing. All the terrain is like this, it's all grass, so watch out for the odd molehill, rabbit hole, it's all quite interesting. It can be slippy on the corners, it can be a bit muddy out there, so just go nice and safe if the terrain's looking a bit uneven. Are there any questions? In that case, have a really lovely run. The main briefing will be in just a moment.
Brilliant, thank you very much. You ready, Josh? Let's go. Yeah. So we have just started Great Dunmow Park Run. Oh, sorry. Oh, very nearly came a cropper then. 1 mile in 8:32. I shall see you guys again at the halfway mark. Halfway in 13:13. Now into some really slippy ground. So that was over the line, 29:49 at Great Dunmow for the park run. That is quite possibly the hardest course I think I've ever done. Talk about mud. I mean, you'll see some of the mud in the video, but yeah, it was really difficult at points. I felt like Bambi on ice. I mean, I know I said parts of Sutton were muddy, but wow, this was like super muddy. That's probably, yeah, that's the muddiest I think I've ever had to deal with. And it made it really difficult because I had to stop and walk through those bits. I think if I hadn't have had to walk at those, that would have been definitely another PB. I definitely would have beat it last week at Sutton. But yeah, it's a shame. I think next week at Kingsbury for I think the 500th, or whenever it is, next week at Kingsbury anyway, I will be going for a sub 28, possibly for a sub 27:30 I think, because I think I'm capable of it. In fact, I know I'm capable of it, I know I can do it. But yeah, now I'm just going to wait for my eldest, who was running with me for a while, and he had to drop back because he was struggling a little bit. His knee was hurting. Yeah, I was like, imagine how your poor dad feels, I'd be riddled with arthritis in the spine, the knees and the ankles and the hips. And yeah, we don't give up, just get it done. It's that simple. I will catch you guys in a bit though when I've got my breath back. Okay, so right, a little bit of context first before I actually fully get into the video with my tips and tricks for parkrun. If you've seen my first video, my how I lost 30 pounds in 6 months, you can skip ahead. I shall pop the chapters down below. If you haven't actually seen my first video, it's worth sticking around, listening to my story, either that or just going and watching my first video if you haven't seen it. But yeah, so let's get into the little bit of background history about me first, shall we? Welcome back to the channel, and for those of you who are new to my running project, welcome aboard. Now, as you've probably seen from the title of this is my top 10 tips for anyone who wants to start going to parkrun. Also top 10 tips for people who regularly do parkrun. This is kind of for everybody. But right, before I get into the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of background history on me. But for those of you who aren't interested or have seen my first video, how I lost 30 pounds in 6 months, I shall pop the timestamp down below for where you can skip ahead to get into my top 10 tips. But, so, here we go. Right, I first started running again back in the first lockdown after about 20 years. Now, the reason I started running is because I was furloughed from work, so I couldn't go to work. I'd been diagnosed with BPD, or borderline personality disorder, and I was really struggling with my mental health. And at the time, I was absolutely terrified of being locked up on my own for 24 hours a day, unable to escape my own brain, because at that point, work had been my escape. It had been my sort of safe place from my own brain and my own mind. Yeah, I started going out originally for about an hour a day a walk, because that's what we're allowed out. We're allowed out for an hour a day. I started going out for probably closer to 3 or 4 hours every day. Just as I say, it was for my own safety. I couldn't afford to be locked up in my own flat with my own devices and on my own, because yeah, it was a dangerous place at the time for how bad I was. As I say, yeah, I started going out for 3 or 4 hours a day. I started off walking, then I started off jogging, then I started off running. And when I first went into that lockdown, I was, as I say, very, very depressed, and I was also very, very overweight. Now, by the end of that lockdown, I was a completely different person. I went from people worrying that I wouldn't even make it out the other side of lockdown alive to being 3.5, nearly 4 stone lighter, completely different person, much happier. And then when the gyms opened, I started going to the gym. It kind of sparked my love for running and fitness at that point, which I'd lost because I hadn't run, as I say, for about 20 years. When I last run before that, I was running a 5K in sub 16 minutes. Admittedly, that was a one-time thing. Usually it was sub 17, but yeah, I digress. Right, so let's get into it. So tip number 1, this goes out for anyone who's like me, who doesn't like getting up in the mornings, getting up at 6 a.m. out your nice, warm, cozy, comfy bed, especially when the weather starts to get cold. Get your kit ready the night before. Get your running kit, your socks, your shoes, get them all laid out the night before you go to bed. Do things like fill the kettle up with water, put your coffee in the cafetiere, put your tea bag in the mug, put your sugar or sweetener in your cup ready. That way, when you get up in the morning, all you've got to do, get out of bed, get your running kit straight on, get yourself downstairs, flick the kettle on. The next thing I do is I also put all my camera kit and stuff like that, especially these days now I'm a YouTuber, I get all that ready and put it near the front door. That way, all I have to do is grab it on the way out. Makes life so much more simple. Tip number 2. Now, if the weather has been bad, go and check your parkrun's social pages, because the last thing you really want to do is turn up and be confronted by this. Or maybe even this. See, we have 2 local parkruns, and if one of them is flooded, I can guarantee so is the other one, because they're both intersected by the same river. But yeah, if something is important to you, it's worth doing a bit of research. It's worth making a little bit of effort the night before and the morning of. Like I say, while your coffee's brewing, while your tea's mashing, go get on your phone, go and check the social media pages just to make sure that when you get there, it's still going to be on. Because that way you've at least got time to make backup plans if you can't go to your local one or the one you're planning to, especially if you're a tourist. Tip number 3, turn up and turn up on time. Early if you can, early is better. Do not turn up at 8:55 or 9:05, because the last thing you want to be doing at 8:55 is rushing around, trying to get from the car park or wherever you're coming from and trying to get to the start line. You're meant to be setting yourself up for a productive weekend. You know, you don't want to be stressing and panicking just before you start running, because it is going to have an effect on your performance. It's not going to help. It's going to make your life more complicated. Tip number 4, remember, it is only a 5K. It's not a marathon. you don't need to take water with you. Hydration is something you should be making a concerted effort with anyway. You should ideally be drinking 2 to 3 litres of water every day. I mean, if you're active, you might need more than 3 litres. And if it's hot weather and it's summer, you might even need 4 litres or more a day. Right. Tip number 5, warm up. Now, this is where turning up early has its benefits. I mean, even something as simple as a 5 to 10 minute run walk. I mean, I've done it countless times myself before. I've gone and started parkrun. I haven't bothered to warm up. And I tell you now, it feels shit. Those first 5-10 minutes are horrible. You don't need to be doing tons and tons of warming up. You don't need to be doing like 30 minutes of warm-ups and drills. Not unless you're elite or you're somebody who's planning to go out and run like you'll just shit yourself. For the rest of us guys, just as regular folk, 5-10 minutes of warm-up will be more than sufficient. Now, there are also plenty of videos online as well on YouTube for things like warm-ups. There's warm-up videos for beginners, there's warm-up videos for intermediates, there's warm-up videos for advanced, there's warm-up videos for pretty much everyone. Now, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not sure how to warm up before a park run, just go and find yourself a video on YouTube and go and watch it. There are a dime a dozen and there's some really good information on there. Now, there is one thing that is worth remembering, is that the colder the weather, the more those muscles will need warming up. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is going out on a 5k run when it's like 3-4 degrees or minus, and you go out, you haven't warmed up, those muscles are cold, they're tight, it's going to hurt, and you're at a much higher risk of injury as well. So it's not worth doing it. The colder it is, remember, the more likely you are to need to warm up before you run. Now, tip 6. This depends on you and the park run. Now, if you want a decent time, don't start at the back. There's nothing worse than trying to get to the front and fighting your way through a crowd of 200 plus people on a narrow track. It's not easy and it does affect your starting time. I mean, it can have an effect of, like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. But the other thing to remember is if you're just going out for a gentle jog and you're not bothered about a time, then starting at the back is the best place for you, because that way you won't feel like you're being dragged along or jostled by the sort of faster and more elite runners. Because there's nothing more disheartening than being dragged out, feeling like you have to keep up with people and finding that after the first kilometre, you're gassed and you're struggling already and you don't want to do it. Now, tip 7, turn up. In fact, that is probably the most important tip of them all, to be fair. Your journey has to start somewhere, and there's no better time than the present. Remember, when you turn up to parkrun as well, you don't have to run. You can walk. This is why on the volunteers roster, they actually have park walkers and tail walkers to make sure that everyone realises how inclusive it is, and so that you don't have to run. There's quite a lot of people actually go to parkrun who don't run it. They actually just walk the 5k. It's a good way to start a Saturday morning. Remember, whether you run or walk, you're ahead of millions, if not billions of other people who are just sat on the couch that Saturday morning doing absolutely nothing. Give yourself a pat on the back, a huge pat on the back. You deserve it. You've actually made a start on your journey to a fitter, healthier you. Tip number 8. It starts today. Don't want to hear any of this, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. I don't want to hear any of this, I'll start it on Monday or New Year, New Me bullshit. Nah, don't want to hear that either. Now, you'd be surprised how many people you'll see in the gym on the 1st of January every year, and then how few people you actually see on February the 1st that same year. Don't get into that trap, guys. Start today. There's no better time like the present. On to tip 9, give back. Please volunteer at your local park run. They can't take place without a volunteer team to run it every week. And say thank you to your marshals on the way around. Last but not least, tip number 10. Don't forget your barcode. No barcode, no finishing time. Download it onto your Garmin. Screenshot it. Put it on your phone. Put your parkrun card in your wallet, or get yourself a barcode wristband. Well guys, that is it. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more content, especially as I'm chasing the sub 25 minute 5k goal before I go on for that massive big 2-0 sub 25k. I mean, I know I'm never going to get back sub 16 5k again, but I'm going to try and get as close as I possibly can. I'm going to get as near as damn it to that sub 16, whether that's sub 20, sub 18. I just want to get as close as I can. Like I say, I'm never ever going to get back there, but I am going to try and get as close as I physically can. And I would love for you guys to all join me. So remember, hit the subscribe button down below now.